It looks like he's making that push now to be one of those 2 or 3. I mean,
There's no question. He's had a great spring. He's had a great off season. He's maturing as a man, which is very important to us. He has a ridiculous skill set, and when we harness all of his energy in the right direction, he is going to be a dynamic football player. I'm very excited about his spring.
Seems like a standard progression. Garyon went through it, Marshawn, that redshirt sophomore year is when they just take off. Is
right.
that
Right. Well, I think, Damon played a lot of snaps at the nickel and had 2 tough games. He gave up 2 catches in 2 weeks in a row, and that's below the standard here. And so we had to make a change, and he understood that. He didn't like it. He shouldn't have liked it, but he handled it. He came back swinging, and he never complained, never put his head down, and he's had a great offseason, a great spring.
So DBU just reloads every year, right?
Well,
Kerry?
I don't know about that, but thank you. I will tell you this. We're not giving ourselves any names. We just have a lot of really good players that come here to play football, and they work really, really hard. I am blessed. I have an unbelievable room right now. I love these kids from young to old, although mostly they're young, but they are playing really hard. We're scuffing them up. We got to do that a little bit, but I'm very excited about it.
Can you talk about the pecking order at corner right now? I know that you're mixing some guys in there, but can you just talk, go down the list, who's running with the 1s and the 2s and the 3s?
We're running 3 plays at a time, and they're all going. So they all play with the 1s, they all play with the 2s, and they all play with the 3s, and that's real. So right now, Denzel Ward is an incredibly. You guys keep saying he wasn't a starter last year, and I know he didn't walk out on the field for the first snap of the game, but he played the same number of snaps as Marshawn and Garyon. And so I would prefer it if you guys refer to him as the 3rd starter at corner, because that's what he was. We had a true 3-man rotation. There was never a series where he didn't go, and then somebody came out. So he's a very gifted player. He's had a great offseason. He's demonstrated some terrific leadership, and I'm very excited about him. Damon Arnett, as we already talked about, has had a really good spring and a good offseason. And then the new guys are really, really playing well, as is Rajay Burns. And so this group of kids, from a pecking order standpoint, if we lined up today, I would expect that 6 of them would play, or maybe 7 during the course of the game. They're that talented, and we're going to keep fresh guys out there. We're going to play.
Hey, Kerry, we challenged you a lot last year with this rotation.
No kidding.
And you guys did rotate. I'm wondering, with all the talent that you guys have now, and Denzel.
It is the methodology that we will use.
Can it go further than 3?
It can. It could go to 4. It's a great question. I tell them in the room all the time. If we have 4 guys that can go out there and cover their man so that he doesn't catch the ball, we'll play 4 in addition to the nickel. And everybody kind of discounts that Falcon position that Damon Webb plays. That's a corner skill type position. So a lot of those kids, that crossover between the corner room and what we call the safety room, there's a lot of transition in there. There's a lot of man cover skill guys in the secondary right now, and a lot of them are going to play. Great question.
Last year you mentioned, and we've written extensively about how much Denzel played. And I think we've asked you about just how hard it is to play man and press the entire game.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, including myself, can wonder how could Marshawn and Garyon be top 15 picks and lose out on reps to other guys? And that's not a slight on Denzel at any point, but
hopefully it's not a slight on Garyon or Marshawn. And what I would tell you is, from a production standpoint, and you guys watched the games, the production was identical for those 3 kids. And so to somehow say we were less when one went on the field would be an incredible injustice. And go back and check the numbers. What we did was we kept guys fresh. The year before, Garyon had played 1,007 snaps, and Eli had played 1,003. And they can't do that and be good at the end of the year. Garyon was not as good at the end of that year as he was at the beginning. They wear out. And we played strong and fast. The true story, you want a real story?
I do.
Is that a returning starter, a kid like Garyon Conley, would voluntarily give up reps for the rotation. Think about that. This kid played 1,000. Corners are greedy people by nature, right? They want to play all the time. They want every interception. They want to play all the time. That kid said, "Coach, I get it. For the good of the team and for himself, I'm willing to do that." Never batted an eye. I think it was a remarkable story that nobody ever talked about. And so we're going to continue to do that. And the kids in the room are committed to that.
What can we infer about Denzel, though?
What do you want to infer? I don't know what that means. He's really good. Play the same number of snaps.
Oh, no, not about whether he's going to play or how much he's going to play, but how good is this kid?
He's really good. Look at me. He's really good.
So is he the next?
He's as good as the other 2. I played 3 guys of equal talent and ability. I don't understand the question. Why is that a big thing to say?
Because one's going to be
Coach
a top
Coombs
5 draft pick.
Listen to me. I don't run out a guy who's not as good as the other guys. Who would do that? Hey, have you met my boss? He would say, Kerry, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? I mean, who does that? We didn't say, oh, we're giving guys. There was no drop off. You don't believe me? I can see it in your eyes.
No.
No.
How you put him in the game?
Believe me.
Trust me. I didn't believe you last year.
So
I believe you
don't
moving forward.
again.
But I have two more, and then I'll let
Well, all these other people got microphones and questions.
Jeff, Okuda.
Yeah.
They all want to know the same stuff, right? Does anybody
Well,
want to
you're
know
the
about Jeff
designated
Okuda?
question answer.
I want to stole one of Denzel. I like
Well, you showed up late to the party.
That was actually a pretty fantastic quote to walk in on. But Sean and Jeff, are these guys?
And Marcus.
Yeah, from an advancement standpoint.
We'll start again. Sean, Jeff, and Marcus are really good players. They should be going to the prom, and they put themselves through mat drills, Mickey's strength program, my anguish for the first 3 months of this year, and they've come out the other side as very effective players. Are they good enough yet? No. But we got a long time between now and August 31st. They have all the skill set that they need to be phenomenal players, and they will be.
Kendall
And
Sheffield?
they will be. Really talented player. Really talented player.
And is he just more advanced than the other guys because he's a couple years older?
Well, I think he's been through camp. He's been through spring ball. Think about that. Those high school kids have never been through this stuff, right? So the advancement is knowing what's coming a little bit, right? And he's a very, very good player, and he's got the skill set that we need. And so, yes, he's just by nature of having experienced it, at a couple of other places, I think that gives you a little bit of an edge when you walk into the meeting rooms and things like that.
Could he be your punt returner too? I know you're a special teams coordinator as well. Like, is he kind of the front runner there, or is he just
Nope.
one of the guys? Like,
Nope,
who's maybe
he's one of the guys.
If you guys had to have a game today, who you run out there as
I
your
think
punt
if we ran
returner?
out there today, it'd probably be DeMario, but I think Kendall could get it. I haven't seen anybody do it live yet. I can't give you a great answer. A lot different than when you got to catch a ball with a bunch of guys breathing down your neck, catching it off a jugs machine.
Right.
But yeah, Kendall's going to be in the return game. Denzel's going to be back there in the return game. We're going to play some fast guys. Paris is going to be a dynamic returner. So I think we got a larger group than usual to draw from in that area.
So what, y'all might have 3 or 4 guys back there returning kicks at the same time?
I don't think we'll have them at the same time. I think we have a rotation now.
How do you make that call? How do you determine
What call?
who that guy is, who that return guy is?
I think that, first of all, you chart every ball they kick in every practice. So the first thing is ball security. So the guy who catches 100% of the balls is your first thought, right?
Yeah.
Because the ball on the ground is a bad day. So the first thing we think about is we chart every catch, and then the next thing is what is their dynamic ability to score. That wasn't a phase of our special forces that was good enough last year. We'll be significantly improved this year, and we've put a lot of time and effort into that. So I can't tell you who it is yet, but somebody's going to emerge. I really believe that.
Kerry, it's no secret that it's a copycat sport. Do you find other coaches expressing curiosity about you using a rotation,
No.
or was your
Most of them
situation
don't talk
so?
to me.
Was it a unique situation in having 3 guys with no drop off?
I think it's
So
first
unique
time.
that others can't do it?
Well, I think I don't know if they can do it or not, and it's not my place to tell them how to coach their team. What I know is this, and I learned it a long time ago: fresh, fast legs win in press man-to-man coverage, and we are going to have fresh, fast legs. And whatever we have to do to make that happen, we're going to make that happen. And so we've been very fortunate now to recruit the kind of players that we have enough depth. We went down to the Orange Bowl a few years ago, and we were really shorthanded. And we made a resolution we're never letting that happen again. And I think that recruiting speaks to itself that we're not. And we've got enough guys now that can do that job and play in the manner in which we want to play, and we have confidence they'll be able to do it.
Am I assuming correctly that you're going to go to the draft this year?
You better believe it. You better believe I'll be there with bells on.
Tux? Which table? Tux?
I'm going to sit at both. Hopefully those 2 tables will be together.
Tux?
No, I don't wear a tux. I wore the same suit I wore last year, probably. Gray suit with a scarlet tie.
So when I walked up in your defense of Denzel, I'm guessing, if you're offended by that, the conversation that he wasn't a starter, do you want him to be offended by that?
Who has that conversation?
It's people say they're got to replace.
Well, I read it in the paper,
I know,
but it's not a conversation.
So he'll read it.
I
Do you
don't
want
know.
him to be bothered by that? Would that be motivation for him?
He knows. I don't think it's motivation at all. I think that he felt very comfortable in the rotation we were in. I don't think there was any. I don't think he thinks about it at all. I would. He's a humble kid. I'm telling you, he's as good as the other 2. He doesn't have to say that. I'm telling you that, and I think he believes it. He just doesn't have to say it.
It's a natural assumption, though, I guess, when you're losing two corners who could be going in the first round, that you got to replace two corners. I mean, you know how people would think about that. But
most people would, but if you went to games, right?
Yeah.
So you don't think that.
But what has Denzel shown you just the last couple 3 weeks? I mean, about being that leader in the room, you know?
Yeah, he has. You know, Denzel had a tough spring last year, and I admire Denzel. I admire him for many, many reasons, and for him to have come through that experience in the manner in which he did, there's a toughness there that you might not see because he's such a good-looking kid, and he's not thug-like or anything like that. You see him as, I mean, I'm telling you now, that is a special person, and for him to come through that, the manner in which he did. He doesn't have to say anything in that room to lead those kids. The respect they have for him is incredible. And Kendall will come in, he'll live with them. You know, people are attracted to him. I mean, they want to be around Denzel.
Kerry, we were told you were going to be more involved with the defense this year. Are you more involved?
I don't know how you can get more involved. There's only 24 hours in a day, so we're all in there together. We all do this together. We work really, really hard, and that defensive staff is really a special group of guys.
We had a pretty reliable source, though, that you were going to be more involved.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that.
Are you spending because Coach Meyer said with Greg being the sole defense coordinator, you might be doing more work with the safeties and things like that. I mean, is that kind of what's happened?
Sure. I think there's more time for us to coach together, the corners and the safeties, and more time in 5-minute blocks in practice when I got the whole back end, because that communication between corner and safety is so important.
Yeah.
And we've done that every practice so far, and I think that works. You know, and half the kids in that room I recruited, so there's great communication between those kids anyway. So I just think that's, but we're trying to win every single game, and we're trying to play the best defense we possibly can on every snap, and I think there's 4 guys that are really committed to that.
I walked up after this guy started. Damon Arnett, the times I've gotten to watch, seems to really be getting after it. Is he? Yeah. How does he? As you look at your group right now, just sort of who are the guys you could throw out there right now you think could play? Is he one of them? Obviously, he played last year.
All of them. I'm not kidding you, Tim. I'm telling you, by August 31st, I truly believe they will all be ready to play, and we will play them in some way, shape, or form if they continue to develop on this path. So Denzel Ward's going to play a lot of snaps. Damon Arnett's going to play a lot of snaps. Kendall Sheffield's going to play a lot of snaps. Jeff Okudah, Rajay Burns, Sean Wade, and Marcus Williamson are going to play a lot of snaps. So, and Amir Reap. I'm like, don't go to sleep on Amir when he shows up. Yeah. So they're all good enough, and I'm not gonna keep a kid on the bench that's good enough to play when that makes us better, and that's what we're gonna do.
At safety, I know Damon Webb's the one returning starter, and it looks like Eric Smith is running with the ones now. And can you talk about the competition between Eric Smith and Jordan Fuller and maybe some of the other guys at safety?
I think Eric Smith and Jordan Fuller are playing great. I think that there's no reason why those guys couldn't rotate. There's no reason why, we do it in the defensive line and nobody ever asks a question about that, right? We keep rolling those guys in, and guess what they do? They play fast and they sack quarterbacks. And so the more guys, when you have a talented team, the more guys you can play, keep fresh, keep healthy, and get experience, the better you're going to be defensively. So I would say there's no reason to think those 3 kids can't do the same thing in the back end. And those young kids are developing, and so they're going to end up on the field in some capacity too. You guys know the Gateway special teams. You walk out there and see who's playing on those units, and those kids are going to end up on the field and playing defensive football for us.
Real quick, when Coach Fickle went to University of Cincinnati,
I'll answer it. I'll answer it.
I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. When Coach Fickle left for Cincinnati, there was a lot of talk that you might join him.
Not talking about that.
How close?
I'm
How
not
close were?
talking to you about that one.
What's
Thanks.
that?
I said I'm done with that one. I need a question about the Buckeyes.
That's why I waited till last. A lot of fans were concerned you were going to leave.
I appreciate
so
the
it was
fans being
at least a close call.
No, I don't know where that stuff comes from. People write stuff and they tweet stuff. Coach Combs never said that.
So you're saying
Buckeye.
you never had that
remain
interest?
Buckeye.
I know you are.
I think there were some assumptions made.
I know that.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of assumptions.
We know you love Cincinnati too.
Well, who doesn't love Cincinnati?
I love Cincinnati.
It's a great city and a great state of Ohio. And that's the truth. Yeah.
Coach Meyer talked on Tuesday. This might be the best group of early enrollees he's had. Would you?
Well, absolutely. And I'm, coach college football. This is my 11th season, and so I'm not the expert he is. But the early enrollees in this class, as a total group, top to bottom, the best that I've ever seen. Yes.
And was it just pure talent, speed? I mean, is it the whole?
Yes.
Is it every button?
you know what? This is a really high character group of kids, and I know people say that stuff all the time, but it is. They're phenomenal. They show up for everything, and then on top of that, they're the best players in the country at their positions. They're elite players and elite people from elite families and programs, and they want to be here, and they're really special players.